You could accept the fact that the city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. What it needs is Old Testament. Stop. Rivers and seas boiling. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's terrible.
Listen, I know. Listen, I know. Listen, did you guys get everything right? Listen. Usually we start at 9. Well, I know mixtape Sir Philosopher is not here. You know, it's usually Sir Philosopher 1 to 12, but Sir Philosopher isn't here. So of course everybody's wondering, well, Sam, where the hell you been for the last hour? Well, you know, I have a long week. I really do. Listen, I'm doing reels every single day. Have you been watching them? At Sam Newsman all over social media. That's really where you should be. I don't really need to even say anything more than that. Listen, I'm doing a reel every single day. No days off. Listen, there's going to be a day and a time and a place where everybody that you see on the media takes a vacation during the holidays. They will. Yes, it's Thanksgiving next weekend. Well, it's in the middle of this week and on Thursday. But then listen, everybody complains. They sit there and say, well, everybody goes on. Listen, teachers get off 2 weeks. The media gets off 2 weeks. Everybody gets off 2 weeks. You know who doesn't get off 2 weeks? You know who doesn't take a day off? Me. I don't take a day off. No days off. That's not just Bill Belichick. That's Sam Newsman principles. Listen, there's something new every day. There is something new every day that needs to be reported on. And far be it from me to sit there and say, well, oh my God, I'm going to take 2 weeks off. I'm going to take 2 weeks off in the end of this month, take 2 weeks off at the end of next month. That's what everybody does. Well, listen, I know that there are things that do come up, and there are a lot of people that sit there and say, well, you know what? There are just some things that events that are happening. That's okay. Listen, a surgery here, you know, you got this, that, over there. Like, those are legitimate excuses. They are. So, of course, because I know a few people that are like, hey, listen, you know what? It's a Thanksgiving holiday, you know, and, you know, I got to get a shoulder replaced. So, you know what? I'm going to do it. And you know what? They're going to be okay. You know, what a better way to sit there and take a moment and say, you know what? I'm going to pump the brakes. It's the holidays. I'm going to recalibrate my body. That's okay. Listen, that's a legitimate excuse. But everybody else, I see it's all the time. Like it's some kind of expectation. Well, like, oh my gosh, listen, I'm a teacher, so I get 2 weeks off. Listen, if you're a teacher, you should be teaching every day. Isn't that right? Oh, you're just going to sit there and pump the brakes for 2. I can't stand this. The reason why I say all of this is because here I am. I work every single day, and I know that there's radio stations all over America that are going to go dark. They're going to go dark. They're going to play a bunch of all these other things. And here I am, setting the standard, raising the bar, just waiting for somebody to sit there and say, hey, Sam, why don't you fill in during the holidays? Nah, but it never happens. You know why? The reason why it doesn't happen is because here I've been doing this since Roswell. Been doing this since Roswell. And of course, yes, I've been doing this for the last 5 years. Number 3 by the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Do I get an invitation? No, I do not get an invitation. I do not. Listen, I think that they're concerned. Listen, all those humans are concerned. The reason why they're concerned is because there's a real media puppet on the radio, broadcasting live, going all over the internet. Do you know that we're on 5 different live streams right now, including this microphone? That's a real media microphone. You know that? It's a real media microphone right over there, meaning that it's going across the FM airwaves. And I say that because, well, you know, it's everybody's like, well, you should have a podcast. Well, listen, I eventually will get a damn podcast. But the thing about it is I heard Howard Stern a long time ago say, hey, listen, if you want to be in radio, then get on the damn radio. All right. I've said 2 dams already. That's 3 right now. And Mary Murr's listening, and she says, all right, you've already have extended, you've already have passed the biblical spicy language meter. That's what I want to have. I need to have that. Can we get that? Can we get that? I think that's something that we need. Well, you know, it goes back to what I was. Shout out to Cassie and Bruce. Like, we were talking about a meter. Hey, listen, you know, last night, it's not a family show, but somebody came on there and they started dropping bombs. Yeah, they started dropping language bombs. And then all of a sudden, Brucey's like, well, listen, you already taken the allocation of that language. And so, no, I can no longer say it. Listen, good conversation. Is that where we really want to start this morning? No, I'm saying, well, the reason why I said that is because I'm a little hot and heated. I'm a little, not hot and bothered, hot and heated. Listen, if I was hot and bothered, there'd probably be somebody, listen, I'm not going to get into the snakes that give us apples. I'm not going to do it. No, what I'm talking about, oh my gosh. What, yeah, okay. So, what? I know that you, okay, so can I tell you guys a little bit aside? So sometimes, well, actually all the time, the producer is in my ear, talking to me the whole damn time. There's 4. Mary Murr, I'm sorry. You know, this all goes back to the Barbie. Listen, we'll get to the Barbie. Listen, and we'll also get to the ramen toy. I know I was supposed to do it at 10. Listen, if you go to, okay, I know. Listen, it's just, it's been a crazy morning. It has. There's been a crazy week. It has. Yes, that is exactly what it's been crazy. Nothing. Okay, he said, no one wants to hear. No, listen, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that, Ken's Toys. No, listen, I tell you what, it's all shriveled and there's nothing to really talk about. I tell you what. Listen, I had the crew in my ear all the time. You know, and we sit there and we do the little disclaimer at the top of the show saying that, you know, occasional smack talk, satire, parody. Do you know that my whole crew just does nothing but smack talks in my ear the whole time? You don't get to hear it. Listen, Germ is vicious. The reason why I give him such a hard time is because he's in my ear the whole time talking smack. Yeah, you guys don't get to hear it. No. Germ just shows up at the end of the show and does this whole Mr. Rogers segment. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, Germ's so pleasant and nice. Oh, yeah, he's so great. No, he's yelling in my ear the whole time. He's yelling in my ear the whole time, saying that, hey, listen, Sam, you should say this, you should say that, you should say this. And I'm just like, shut up. Oh, my gosh. What's going on here? It's ridiculous. It is 10:23. It's 10:23 here on the East Coast, here on the 18th day of November in the year 2023, broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond. You're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning. Yes, of course. You know, it takes us that long just to sit there and get. Well, no, I had stuff to talk about. I know. See, now they're fussing at me and they're saying, "Oh, well, you should have done this and that." Well, I can't sit there and say that. Well, I don't know. All I do know is that it is a Saturday morning, and I'm sitting there here. Geesh, I'm sitting there thinking about exactly what is going on today. There's a lot of stuff happening, and I do know that it is. Geesh. Well, we're starting an hour late. Yeah, we're starting an hour late. So I guess the whole 9 o'clock family is gone now. Yeah, what are they doing? They're dropping their kids off in other places. No, 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 no. Yeah, that's true. What? What do you mean I have a phone call? I do not have time to do phone calls right now. Is it Brucey? That's the only person that I'm taking a phone call from right now. So if that is the case, Brucey, I think I know that you're down there. If that's you calling, you got to tell me because I'm not answering the phone. I'm not answering the phone. I see it blinking over there, but I'm not going to sit there and talk about it. Not on the first segment. And listen, I got Deep Cut Dave coming in the next segment. He is yelling about the language. That's why we're going to have a meter. That's why. So I the Mary sitting there. She's remote. She's remote right now, and she's sitting there. Listen, that's exactly right. I need to have a meter, right? Damnation, hell, ass, oxen and ass. I need to have a meter right here. If I had the meter up, then I already know that so I already said 5 of them, 5, biblical language words. No, but she's right. She's right. Listen, Mary Murr is a savant. Yeah, I know. Listen, she keeps us accountable here. Yeah, let's put her in charge of the ticker, the biblical spicy language ticker. Well, it can only be biblical spicy language. Oh, of course. It can't be anything other than that. And it's all about being in context. Ugh. No, I'm not answering the phone. I'm not answering. I know that there was a time and a place where we would take phone calls, but I'm not answering the phone. I'm not doing it. No. Listen, the number's even changed. We're changing the number. We're going to change the number so the number that you thought that was the number no longer is the number that works. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Anyways, so if it's Brucey that's trying to call in right now, Brucey, I tell you what, if you're trying to call in, pump the brakes. Don't do it just yet. And we'll try to circle back each other during next segment. Now, I do have a segment to play. Yes, of course I do. And I do have Deep Cut Dave coming in on the other side of this break to talk about a few different things. Now, what was that? Yes, listen, I know. What? Well, yes. Mary Murr's accountability. Well, that's what Jerm was just saying in the ear. See, once again, I didn't want you guys to hear that because listen, if you about biblical spicy language. Kiss your mother with that mouth, Germ. What are you doing? I'm not throwing you under the bus. What are you talking about? Okay, so it is 10:27. It's about 10. It's almost 10:30. It is a beautiful day. It was 72 degrees yesterday. It was 72 degrees. It was. It was 72 degrees, and well, it was a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day today, also, as well. All right, so what do we have here? Oh, I do have a couple people in the chat. I have Dr. I00. I got Mud Scuffer, Sir Philosopher. Sir Philosopher says, Sam needs a curse jar. A curse jar? Every time I say something that's biblically spicy, like I try to do every time I say something biblically spicy, I need to put a penny in the jar. Right? Okay, so that's something that we can do. And then what do we do? Yeah, you'll throw. Listen, that's what we'll do. We'll throw all the pennies in an offering plate one Sunday morning. No, but you know what I mean. It's like so I put a penny. I put a penny for every time I say something spicy in a jar, and then I dump it into the offering plate. But you know the old adage is the old adage is is that if you pass around the offering plate and you shake it up and it jingles and you can hear it, well, it wasn't a good enough offering. So that means you have to sit there and pass the plate around again. Yeah, can't hear all that money jingling. Hey, well, you know what? I think that this might be a chance to keep the rest of the parishioners accountable. Yeah, they should be accountable. Well, if they're not accountable, well, I mean, what it should be us to be accountable. Listen, I dump a bunch of pennies in an offering plate, and then you start shaking the offering plate. You know that there's not that much in it. So, listen, I'm doing a service. So here I am. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to bring in the jar. We'll call it the Mary Mer jar, and we'll sit there. And every time I say something, we'll put a penny in the jar, and then over the course of time, we'll take those pennies and dump them in an offering plate. Right? Yeah. And that's challenging the people who are already giving on a weekly basis. So to make sure that when they shake the offering plate, when they collect everything, that you don't hear it. And if they don't, well, then guess what? We're going to sit there and pass the offering plate around again so that it will be a better offering. Anyways, Lone Dragon's also in the chat. Listen, we're all over the place in social media. You know, there's the Sam Cam right here on Instagram. Hello, Sam Cam. The Sam Cam on Instagram. We have the Sam Cam over here on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Facebook, YouTube, and X. Skeet, skeet. Skeet, skeet. Yes, we have so Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Well, X. And then anti-Semite X, I guess, if you will. Did you see that? We'll get into it later. No, Facebook, YouTube, and X over here on this camera right here. I have the Sam Newsman, the Sam Cam over here on Instagram over here. Listen, I would sit there and fire up TikTok Live, but you know, every time I fire up TikTok Live, I get flagged for misinformation. No, listen, I'm not even reading a CIA letter that is attributed to Tim Osman. Osama bin Laden. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I've said too much already. CIA letters, Osama bin Laden, you know, Tim Osman. Oh, well, it's a whole nother thing. I'm not going to get into it. It's Saturday morning. It's 10:30 on a Saturday morning. I got a couple of songs here. Deep Cut Day is going to come on the other side of this break, kind of educate us on what we have here. There's a couple of things that I kind of threw in there that he's not expecting, but he'll listen to it and he'll give us the 411 here, like I said, on the other side of this break. When I say the break is just nothing more than cartoon themes. You think about Saturday morning, what did you do? I'll tell you what you did. What you did was you would wake up. You wouldn't have to go and grab your book bag. You wouldn't have to sit there and have your mom lick her hand and, lick your cowlick back or whatever before you get on the bus. You don't have to worry about any of that. What did you do on Saturday morning? You woke up. You rushed to the kitchen. You grabbed a big sugary bowl of cereal. And you grabbed some action figures and toys. You grabbed some action figures and toys, and you would just sit there and watch cartoons, eat sugary cereal, and play with your action figures for the next 3 or 4 hours. Well, that's what you're going to do with us here on Saturday morning. Taking it back. You know, the government took away your cartoons. But, far be it from me to let them sit there and lock them away in a cave. I'm here setting the standard, raising the bar, the only way a real media puppet knows how to do. So, but you might say, well, Sam, I can't listen to the radio because I'm not local there to Richmond, Virginia. And I would say that's a really good point. That's a really good point. I know that you're not here locally in Richmond, but if you were, you would be able to just hop in your car or tune into the radio, 90.1 FM. But what you need to do is go to WDCE.org. WDCE.org. If you go to WDCE.org, you can listen to the live stream. Now, there are a couple of apps you can do. Live 365 app is one of them. That's the official app here for the radio station. Simple Radio is another one. There's a couple of different ones out there, but WDCE.org, that's where you can say it. Frito-Lay for life. Now, what are you talking about, DFS? What do you mean Frito-Lay for life? Don't let mama catch your zipper on you. DFS. Anyway, so here we are. Like I said, it is 10:33. We're going to get out of here. Make sure you're listening to the live stream. Live stream is where? Yes, WDCE.org. Good job. Yes, you paid attention and you listened. Also, download the Live 365 app, search WDCE, and you'll be able to listen to us. Like I said, this is Deep Cut Dave's segment here coming up. Now, the Deep Cut, when Deep Cut Dave and Professor Deep Cut Dave calls in, it's a radio only. So the only way you'll be able to hear it is the way that I just talked about. And yeah. So, tighten up, soldier. Do what I told you to do. Got a few cartoon theme songs coming here in just a moment. And like I said, we'll be back on the other side of the break. Sir Philosopher's not around today, but he is in chat. He said he's over in Tennessee at a beach. Did he say a beach? No, he's not. He's not at a beach. There's no beaches in Tennessee. God, it'd be miserable to live like that far. At least the beach is only about 2 hours away from here. Anyways, it is 10:35 on the 18th day of November in the year 2023. I'll be back on the other side of this break with Deep Cut Dave, radio only, and we'll be back at the top of next hour where we'll talk about toys. And then, yes, at noon, we'll celebrate Thanksgiving the only way we know how to do here on the only radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real media puppet. Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond, you're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell. I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning.
Conjunction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. Conjunction, how's that function? I got 3 favorite cards that get most of my job done. Conjunction, what's their function? I got and button or they'll get you pretty far.